You're watching Masters in Trading Live with Jonathan Rose.
And you're up.
Hey everybody, my name is Jonathan Rose and welcome to Masters in Trading Live. At Masters in Trading Live, I get on here every day the market's open, share some thoughts, go over the market, and once in a while we'll share our trade of the day. Big week today. First of all, it's Thanksgiving week. Usually a very slow week for the market, but this week it's a very busy week for us. We have our short-term options live event is going to be this Tuesday. We started with 4 days of live training. Not live training. We started with 4 days of training, pardon me. The training went out Saturday, Sunday. Today is Monday. We're going to go over some short-term options, and then tomorrow is our live event. For today, we got 4 topics. First topic, we're going to cover 0 days till expiration options. We'll talk about Turkey Week. Rainy day. I didn't spell that wrong. We have a shout out for a Discord member because he shared a wing-dinger of a trade. And then finally, we'll talk about our Tuesday live event. Telvin, if you could throw me over to the screen share, get started. All right, guys, a big shout out to Ken. Let me start here. We've been talking about the long side of the market because our volatility measures have been getting pummeled. They've been going upward. Volatility is going lower and lower. When volatility goes lower, markets go higher. When volatility goes higher, there's more uncertainty in the market, so markets go lower. So this week, after the election, really, once volatility measures started to get just pummeled, Ken got long the Qs, the SPY, I think he had a little bit of Amazon on there, and what a great start to the Thanksgiving week. Ken, congrats. That is just awesome. Matt, we're thankful for JR, MIT, and Thanksgiving week. Looking forward to the week. Okay, I think this is the first time I've ever done this, guys. A shout out to Rainy Day in our Discord. I got to give a shout out because Rainy Day, November 8th, shared an idea. This was not my idea. I had nothing to do with this, but my hat is tipped to Rainy Day because RGTI, he suggested November 8th. Well, today, RGTI trades $3.07. It was $1.40 when Rainy Day shared this in our Discord. So hats off, great trade. Not all the trades are coming from me. When we get a bunch of good traders in a room together, they can find out trades with one another. So really great trade in RGTI. VIX term structure. As you're going through the training for the 0 days till expiration, the short-term options, I put a number up on the screen. 1-800-383-0362. That's going to take you to an active voicemail. Leave your questions about 0 days till expiration options. My team will go through all of the voicemails and we are going to share or go through the questions live that we think the most people will benefit from. In front of you, I have the VIX term structure from 11/19, November 19th, and then from this morning. 11/19, that VIX 9D, 1575. This morning, 1299. Considerably less volatility over the next 9 days. What does that mean? Guys, the market is going to go higher. When the volatility comes out of the market, stock markets trade higher. Okay? Rinse and repeat. VIX was trading 1691. Now VIX 1467. Not a big surprise of why the market is so much higher than it was just 6 days ago. Keep it simple. Follow that VIX term structure, and that's something, there's a ton of training for everybody who signed up for our live event. What do we have here? Red line is going to be the 9-day measure of the VIX. The yellow line is going to be the 30-day measure of the VIX, the fear index. November, the VIX 9-day was trading above 20, so was the VIX trading above 20. Look at them now. Offered. That's risk coming out of the market. That's uncertainty coming out of the market. when risk and uncertainty come out of the market, markets trade higher. It's common sense. Sometimes traders just get in their own way. But if we just look at VIX term structure, that can give you a lot of confidence whether the market's going to trade higher or whether it's going to trade lower. QQQs. One of our keys in finding trades and finding short-term option trades is what we call our line in the sand. Our line in the sand is we're just looking for overlapping levels. So QQQs, the NASDAQ, I'm looking at the daily. Each one of these lines represent 1 day. Notice how the lows pretty much are the same, all the 5 lows in a row. The highs, pretty much the same, but when we break out of that high, that becomes support, and then the market trades higher. But if you go back, we're seeing so many of these overlapping highs and overlapping lows. We use those for our line in the sand. QQQs, if we go to the weekly, we were just at a daily, same thing. QQQs, the highs are the same. The lows are darn close to the same. These are support areas and resistance areas. We see it for the SPY as well. The SPY trades up right up to its all-time high. It looks like it's going to have some trouble getting through there. But again, all these highs the same, all these lows, it's like a channel just waiting to break out. Next slide. Again, that number is on the bottom, 1-800-383-0362. That is a live, active voicemail line. Just call, ask your question, and we'll make sure to get all your questions answered. This is really interesting. White line is the NASDAQ. Purple line is going to be the Russell 2000. Each month, we start from zero. So this is November right here. This is October, September. In September, NASDAQ was outperforming the Russell. We start again at zero. October 1st. October 1st, NASDAQ's outperforming Russell. NASDAQ's outperforming Russell. This is really interesting, guys. For the first time going back the last 3 or 4 months, finally, small caps are now outperforming the NASDAQ. So short-term traders, if you're looking for something to sell, you may sell the Russell relative to the NASDAQ. Short-term traders, if you're looking to get long, well, you don't want to get long the Russell. You probably want to get long the NASDAQ relative to the Russell. So in our short-term options program, we're not going to only just be looking at the NASDAQ, we're going to be looking at the NASDAQ relative to the SPY. The NASDAQ relative to the Russell. And as you can see here, Russell greatly outperforming the NASDAQ. Will this hold true? I don't know. I'd be surprised if the Russell just continues to outperform the NASDAQ, wouldn't you? I got one more chart for you. That's not true. I have 2 more charts for you. This chart, again, same chart as I just showed you, but now I'm also adding implied volatility bands. Right now, the Russell is really outperforming its implied volatility band, going into one of the absolute slowest weeks of the year. Why would the Russell make such a vicious move going into the slowest week of the year? Maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's just getting over its skis because of a low volatility week. That's something that we're going to be expanding on in our live presentation tomorrow. One final slide, because this is something that we've been talking about, bonds. Bonds are popping this morning. We talked about TLT a couple of weeks back. TLT trading was really offered, getting to the bottom of its implied volatility bands, and then today, TLT rallying. So, Telvin, if you could throw me live. Interesting day. We have small caps making a move that they haven't made in 4 months. We have the TLT bonds offered for the last couple of months, today making a really big move. So let me ask you this. Going into the slowest week of the year, why are these two key instruments making moves that we haven't seen in the last 4 months? I'll tell you why I think. Because of illiquidity. What happens this week is the markets are still moving, but there's just not a lot of activity. So oftentimes, we see markets go way further than they should, or way lower than they should because of an illiquid time. And this presents really good short-term trades that I'm going to share with you live tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I couldn't be more excited. Tomorrow's event is 100% live as well. We usually do these a little recorded. Tomorrow's is live. I'll see you there. For everybody else in our All Access program, you guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.